All right, guys, welcome back to Behind Closed Doors. Today is July 29th. We're almost out of July, but for a little special for you guys, we brought back on our most popular guest, Chris Drama Pfaff. Chris, welcome back to Behind Closed Doors. Roaring applause.
Drama. All right. Chill.
Drama. How's everything?
It's good to be back, man. It's my favorite show.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you. You really bring in all the fans from all over. We have the biggest numbers when we have you. So
Yep.
There's no surprise there, I don't think.
What can I say? Yep. I'm an interesting dude, you know.
Interesting. So let's jump in right away. We need a little quarantine update from you. How's everything been? How's it been going? I do want to also point out that you have transitioned from now a strict sweatpants guy to a strict jeans guy. What is that? What has that been? What is that? Transition
so here's what happened. When quarantine first hit, I gave up. I went full into like, okay, screw it. If this is what life is, then screw it. And I'm going to get used to being a full piece of shit. I'm going to buy a PlayStation. I'm going to load up on sweats, and I'm going to shower once every 48 hours. And it was great. But that plan, was kind of based around this thing lasting a couple months. And after a couple months, I started to really feel like a loser. And, it came time to pull some of the jeans out of the closet. I finally started working out a little bit again, which was, I think, like the big shift for me. And I'm just trying to figure out what non-loser lockdown life looks like. Where's the balance? Where am I still not at risk for getting COVID? But, I shower in the mornings and like regular stuff,
But you shower, then you put on jeans just to be in your house?
Well, no. So that's a lie. And if you'll look right here, you'll see sweatpants.
Okay, so sweats are back.
Well, I mean, when I leave the house. When I leave the house, I don't wear sweats anymore.
So you're telling me you switch out of sweats for an hour to come in and do the podcast, and then you go back home and take them off?
Well, I would say oftentimes, yes. But I also usually, when I come to do the podcast, I try to at least like go to the grocery store or like do something, because like just all the time inside is really tough on me. So I try to make a whole day of it. But yeah, there also has been a lot of times when I put on jeans for an hour and came and pretended like everything's great, and then I came back home and put on sweats and taken my shirt off.
Do the jeans still fit? Has there been any fitting issues? Do they still fit like usual? What's that feedback?
Well, if anything, they're a little big. Like, I have the opposite problem of a lot of people, which is when I get lazy or stop paying attention, I lose weight.
Wow,
I naturally, yeah, but I get, if I go too long, I can get really gangly and it look like I've been doing drugs. Like I have to stay on a good diet of lots of food, protein shakes, working out in order to like bulk up it all. So I would say, if anything, they're a little big on me.
We should start some kind of story with you, get you real skinny, and then be like drama's falling off a cliff, almost like a free Britney movement. It's like free drama movement. Really get some good PR going around the show.
Yeah, it wouldn't take long. You give me 3 months, 3 months longer of quarantine with no jeans and no workouts, I would look like I started dabbling in some crack cocaine, maybe.
This is good. And then you could be like, the crack cocaine addict is on group chat. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just a crackhead.
Yeah. Or maybe like group chat got so big that drama turned to drugs.
Ooh.
I think that could work. I'm into it.
Okay. Well, we know a lot of people watch this, so hopefully they don't catch on to that we made this plan ahead of time. But that could work well.
Screwed ourselves. Yeah, we kind of messed up that plan early.
Well, what somebody who doesn't have a plan and just releases ungodly amounts of content. Let's really dive into this Post Malone, Joe Rogan. Did you see any of the interviews so far?
I did. I watched about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. There's my guy. I watched about 20 minutes, and it's really interesting. I think it seemed like, I believe they were both on mushrooms,
yes.
Or at least they said they were, and they're talking about aliens and guns that can be shot with your butthole. And, you know,
That's
contrary.
thing.
Yeah. It's really interesting. They're talking about like what aliens would be like. And I wonder if aliens like to pee on each other. You know, it's strange. But I get it. I would imagine that's what a mushroom conversation between Joe Rogan and Post Malone. Look, I think in its own way, the same way that I enjoy Joe Rogan talking to like a neurosurgeon, him on mushrooms talking to young Post Malone is a very interesting media moment. So I'm down for it.
Do you think that was Joe Rogan's idea or Post Malone's idea?
It's a really good question. I was actually really surprised too, because I feel like Joe Rogan doesn't even talk about like young things. So I don't know. I can't guess where that connection could have possibly come from,
but I also feel like Post Malone is kind of an old head in a way that he conducts himself, but just has like much younger fans.
Yeah, I just don't understand where the connection would come from. Like, I don't picture Joe Rogan like being super into Post Malone and like listening to Rockstar and like I think Joe Rogan has made fun of Post Malone's face tattoos before. Like I think that he, you know, like what are these kids doing? You know, like maybe I'm wrong, but it's really interesting. I would love to see them both on like a reality show. You know, like maybe they could move in together in Texas. You know, be like
an extra bedroom.
Yeah. I'd love to see that.
What happened with Post Malone and a Rolls Royce Phantom you had? I remember hearing the story vaguely. You like let him borrow your car?
Yeah, I had a Rolls Royce Ghost, and I let Post borrow it for the White Iverson music video, and they took it to like the desert. And I was like, yeah, you can take it and like do your thing, do whatever, just don't fuck it up, like don't be crazy. And they're like, yeah, whatever. And so they took it, and then my friend who was doing marketing for Young and Reckless at the time, because I didn't go, called and was like, hey, like I'm not totally sure, but I think they're doing donuts in the desert in your car. and I was like, come on. So I called his manager and I was like, hey, you guys aren't doing donuts in the car, are you? And they're like, no, we would never do that. And I was like, okay, because, you know, like, I don't care if you have fun, but like, you know, I don't know, don't do donuts. Yeah.
It's an expensive car.
And then on the way home, driving it home, it got a flat tire mysteriously. And they had to flatbed it to my house and dropped it off with a flat tire. And then sure enough, it was all a lie. And the video comes out and they're just ripping donuts the whole time.
Did they think you wouldn't catch them? Like,
no, they just didn't care. I mean, I think, you know, his manager at the time, and I will say this is part of why Post Malone succeeded, but his manager didn't give a shit about any, like, if they had a Rolls Royce and they thought it would make good footage, they would just lie to me and, like, he'll find out when the video comes out and whatever. Like, really, you know, not the best people skills, but no, I mean, they knew I would see it eventually. They just didn't want to admit it.
And did you ever call him out for it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we had a real big problem over it. Like, not for real, but, you know, I was just like, what the hell, dude? Like, this is a, you know, like, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I let you borrow, like, a $350,000 car. Like, at least let me know what you're doing, you know? And it was like, oh, my man, you know, I get it. Yeah. It was a classic, you know, we'll call it a misunderstanding. We'll call it, there's a lot of that happening when you're, you know, running a clothing company and dealing with young superstars.
Yeah, that's a great story.
Yeah.
So I was actually talking to Anand a little bit ago. So you knew Post Malone early on. Like, you guys were friends, and that's why it led up to the point of you even allowing him to use your $300,000 car, right?
Yeah. We're still friends. And I still talk to his dad all the time. I talk to his dad more than him, to be honest.
Are these like phone calls? Are these phone calls or are these texts?
Yeah, phone calls and texts. You know, like every holiday, his dad will write me a message. His dad still gives me more credit than me or Young and Reckless's deserve for his success. Like, I don't think we made him more successful. I think we just got in early. But his dad will thank me every holiday for what I've done for his family. But his dad is just like the epitome of like a Texas, like, amazing dude. But Yeah, no, and there was no problem with Post. Post didn't even know what was going on or what was allowed or what wasn't. Like it was the management and the video director who like really were like in charge of the car and whatever. So
Was he
yeah,
even in the car? Was that like him driving it?
you know, I guess I'm unclear. I think he drove part of it, but I don't think he was the one doing donuts. I don't really know. I don't know. But yeah, it was never like a real issue, but it was definitely at the time like, wow, these guys just do not give a shit about what I have to say. Yeah.
Or anybody else for that matter. Once you do a 3-hour Joe Rogan podcast on shrooms, publicly announcing it, I don't think you give a fuck about anything.
And look, I can't be mad at it. Like if he would have failed, you know, if 6 months later he would have flopped and no one cared, I would have been like, see, it's because you're a freaking idiot. But then like, you know, he's now Post Malone and the management style worked and the whole thing worked. And so I'm like, you know what? That's totally fine. A flat tire, I could deal with that.
Sure. Did you have to pay for the flat tire?
No, they paid for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's some decency.
Yeah, they're not monsters, you know?
Okay. Funny. So let's just keep moving on. Are you still playing video games? I wanted to get a quick update on that. Did that fall off a cliff as well with the sweatpants? Where are you with that?
Well, I will say they're a little bit in the sweatpant bucket. I do still play them. I have found that at this point, it's a fun way to like, you know, hang out with the Young and Reckless staff. You know, there's a couple key guys in there that are really great.
Yeah,
Sean. Soup's really good. So it's a good way for us to all connect. You know, we're not in the office. So we hop on there, strap on the headphones, and get to gaming. 2 things. Number one, it really hinders what time I go to sleep. So it's a nighttime activity, and it's real easy to play a couple games, and all of a sudden it's like 2 in the morning, and you're like, wow, I'm a loser. And also I suck at it. I suck really bad at it. And I really underestimated how hard video games are. Like, I remember playing video games like Mario Kart and stuff when I was a kid, and like, I don't know, I was a kid, and I felt like I was good at them, but these new games are so hard.
Well, that was usually Mario Kart's pretty like 1 to 2 dimensional. You're just turning and gassing. Where you playing something like Call of Duty, you're moving,
like movies.
You're shooting, you're grenading, you're doing everything.
There's too many options. There's too many. It's too hard, and so like I can't. I'm the type that like if I could get over the hump and I could start to be good and I could be like competitive, I would probably be way more addicted to it. But the fact that I just suck.
You got to put in hours to get over the hump too. You got to put in your 10,000 hours.
It's so crazy. I don't understand how these kids are doing this. Like there's like 14-year-olds, you know, because sometimes you'll play and like on Call of Duty, after you die, it'll play like what the other person was saying for like a fraction. And, yeah, it's like a 12-year-old. And I'm like, what? How are you this? Like, are you some sort of genius? Like I've been doing this now for 3 months and I'm just getting smoked by 12-year-olds. Have you gotten
any better?
I would say I've gotten a little better, yeah. But like I'm not in the realm of being able to, you would smoke me for sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. Have you played this thing since high school? Like what, how, why is everyone so good at it?
I just got an Xbox for the first time, like my own Xbox. I played friends and others, but just about 2 months before quarantine, maybe a month, I got my first Xbox.
Yeah, good for you, man. You have some sort of built-in gift. It's literally like a real sport. Like it really made me understand, truly, because I used to hate on this. Yeah. It made me understand esports and like why people watch gamers stream. Because I was just relating it. I hadn't played video games since I was like 14, and I was like, well, Grand Theft Auto, all that stuff. Like, who would want to watch someone play that? Like, it's more about the experience of playing it.
Right.
But seeing how hard it is and how these kids are literally like little LeBron James of Call of Duty, like I understand why a kid would watch it.
Well, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's the great plays that LeBron makes when he chases down that dunk against Golden State in the finals. I mean, it's those major plays that only professionals make, and on that level, that's like what pro gamers do. They do the most insane shit where you're like, what the fuck just happened? And it's like mind-blowing.
Yeah, I had no idea. I think I've gotten old. I aged out of
You've aged out of just about everything. What haven't you aged out of?
Yeah. I've aged jeans, just barely. I got 2 more years left of jeans, it looks like.
Poor guy. Okay, let's move on. We got another topic quick to cover before we wrap things up. The great TikTok debate. This is something that I think the 3 of us are great to talk about. Why drama? You were early in on TikTok, at least experimenting with it. Taylor, you wrote a couple newsletters about it. That Josh Richards kid just announced yesterday that he's leaving for Triller and is now the chief of content at Triller. So they must have given him a bag, but he's jumping ship from TikTok. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think any of this will work? Instagram's coming out with the platform. So maybe answer the question of what will work and who will win.
Is Josh Richards the kid that was on
The Wiggly Dick.
Barstool?
Yeah, Wiggle Dick.
Wiggle Dick.
Here's my prediction, because I really want to take this serious, because I'm going to claim that I was right, like in 6 months.
I'm going to chop this up, by the way, and this will be the only clip we put out.
Yeah, my official prediction is this. Instagram puts out an app that looks really pretty, really awesome, doesn't catch.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, agreed.
Triller gets smoked. TikTok never gets banned. Everyone who's stuck with it is bigger than ever.
Agreed. I 100% agree with that.
I honestly can't disagree because I've been leaning towards that same idea.
I made a TikTok today, and I made my first post. I'm late to the game, but I'm coming.
Welcome. We actually have here's some big news. Tomorrow, for We're Not Really Strangers, we have a big hashtag face filter campaign going live. So if you go into the hashtags and you search hashtag Ask Me Anything, you'll see a We're Not Really Strangers banner, and the cards will flip up on your forehead. And we have a big TikTok campaign. So that launches tomorrow.
Great. I'll make a TikTok for it.
Yeah, please.
27
get out there. What do you say?
I got 27 followers.
That's okay. I'm sure you'll find a way to hack that, and you'll have 27,000 by tomorrow.
All of a sudden, we'll see you in the next newsletter. Also, follow me on TikTok.
Totally.
Here's my link below.
If you want to keep getting newsletters, you got to follow me on TikTok.
Yeah.
Drama, what happened? You were massive on TikTok. You were hyped on it. You got a good following on it. What happened?
Yeah. Good question. I think that I realized, so I went as far as, so I believed in TikTok really early. I got involved in TikTok. I've told everyone, I started making TikToks pretty early. Not as early as I predicted it, and then I went as far as hiring a person whose job it was to come to the office and film me doing TikToks. And they were supposed to bring all the big trends, tell me what to do, all that stuff. And I think on about week 3, when I was actually trying to get real work done, but I realized it was TikTok time and I had to stop, I realized, to what end am I trying to do this? If I'm doing TikTok trends all day, let's just say I follow this all the way to, I have 5 million followers and I'm just doing TikTok trends. What am I doing? I'm going to go do brand deals. Sure, I'm going to sell a little bit more clothing. That is true. But am I really going to, is it going to be as successful as if I just figured out TikTok and figured out how to work with influencers and actually be a business owner instead of a freaking TikToker? And I just stopped because I moved away and started focusing on more business when we were doing reality TV because I realized I didn't want to be a celebrity. So why am I in 2020 trying to be an influencer or a TikTok celebrity? Yeah. I couldn't figure out why I was doing it.
It's so hard not to chase that light though. So in the same vein, I'm just damn, I have a big LinkedIn following. I have an Instagram page with almost 200,000 followers. I don't even freaking post on. I don't care about. Why do I want to go start a TikTok?
Yeah.
It's hard because at the end of the day, it's for what? You have these big pages, they don't really turn into anything. And then once you stop having the passion behind them, they turn into nothing. They're literally worthless.
Unless you have a specific reason or narrow-minded niche to go after, it doesn't work. Then you're just following trends, and then it's just an endless cycle. And you'll just do this stuff day in and day out.
My Instagram, I put years of real work into Instagram because it was as Young and Reckless was building, and as I was on TV, and I was like, okay, this is the thing.
Yeah.
And it worked. And I would say it was really heavily responsible for Young and Reckless's early success. But today, my page has 1.3 million followers and is worthless. I couldn't sell a damn thing from my page. Probably if I said listen to Behind Closed Doors and D did, we'd probably get equal click through. And that's just the nature of these platforms. Unless you're going to move on to YouTube and then move on to TikTok and build this, then a podcast, and now you're, Logan Paul or whatever. it's really hard. So I do think, like you said, Taylor, like it's tempting to just do it, but unless you have, you know, some people have a bigger reason. Like even D's reason for doing all this stuff makes sense. Like he has a bigger plan. But unless you have that reason and you're just doing it to do it, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I just couldn't justify taking 2 hours out of my work day to fucking, you know, be a wiggle dick, really.
Wow.
That's what it really came down to. But, you know, to each his own. If it's right for you, then absolutely, like, follow the Gary Vee model. Like, go balls to the wall, do every platform, do a podcast at YouTube. Like, that's for real. Like,
yeah.
Obviously, I'm not saying, like, that's a huge opportunity. But I just think my personality a little bit more lends itself to, like, I'd rather be really great at influencer marketing and let other people be the wiggle dicks and build a brand through that. And like, I just enjoy that challenge a little bit more. I don't like the weird world of social media and the, like all the, like, ooh, I hope this post does good. Like I put my life into this post. Like I hope people like it. You know,
that exact idea never, ever, ever, ever works out.
No.
Yeah, no. I mean, well, unless you're one of these little kids with like a dangly cross earring and fluffy frontal hair, like then it might work out.
With even them, they've done it for years before anything worked out, which is crazy.
Yeah, and I think that the bigger thing to talk about is like, look at all the generation of like Vine and those kids. Like even, I don't know, maybe I'm out of the loop, but I haven't even heard anyone talking about Amanda Cerny lately, and she was one of the biggest. Like really, Logan and Jake Paul.
Yeah.
You know, and David Dobrik. Like you either are like superstar, 1 in a million, really hard to recreate that, or you're like, you know, I don't know what those people are doing.
Yeah,
it's hard. I mean, and then you don't really have a job and you don't really have anything else. You're not really making money and you're relying on branding. It's hard.
And it's funny because, I mean, now TikTok has decided to put this fund together, and even in them, you have to have original content to even get a piece of this, like $220 million that they're giving out to creators. But on top of that, like already I'm seeing like these big creators on TikTok that have massive followings are literally like asking for money. They're like, I'm literally broke, and they still work. They're like, because they're young. They're just working shitty part-time jobs. They're in the middle of a global pandemic. They're probably not even collecting unemployment checks because they were never employed in the first place. So it's like, what do you even do? These kids actually have like no money, nothing to do, and they're just big on TikTok.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, not to go too deep on it, but I do think that it'd be an interesting like case study one day on, you know, because that same person could have started building their career, you know, and they could have started building something that when they're 50, you know, will make them millions of dollars and set them up for life. But I think that all these kids, like, I'm sure that if you ask 90% of kids, they would say that their dream job is a YouTuber or a TikToker or a rapper or athlete.
For sure.
You know, and I just wonder if like the people pursuing like real careers, like lifelong, you know, things like that, development, if that's going away, I don't know, but it's interesting. But I have to believe the number one career choice for a young kid is
TikTok.
YouTube or TikTok. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, shit. I mean, you look at people like David Dobrik and like, all right. Well, I remember when we were transitioning from like no more TV, and I was trying to pull away from like all that stuff, is when David Dobrik and them were first coming up, and we were giving them product and we were blah, blah, blah. But Vine and all that stuff just seemed like super silly. You know, and now David Dobrik, who the hell knows how much cash he makes a year, looks like he has a great life and is like the new, you know, Rob Dyrdek or Bam Margera, or like he's the new like superstar to that generation. But you never could have, I never would have guessed that, you know.
I mean, he makes boatloads. He just gave away, what, he gave away 3 Teslas on his birthday?
Yeah, but those are his.
Right.
Yeah, he's keeping the stock price high on his own.
Yeah. Some insider trading going on there. I'd like to know that. All right. That kind of wraps it up for us, Taylor. You're on your trek back to LA. What is that looking like? You leave Friday?
I'll be here Friday. My mom's not letting me stay at her place, but Robbie's mom is letting me stay at her place. So I'm staying
way.
At Robbie. So get this. Robbie's mom is dating my dad now.
What?
I set them up. The soap lady.
So Robbie's your brother.
So you and Robbie could be related stepbrother.
I'm pushing for the marriage. We'll see, but
You guys should do a fucking YouTube channel called Step Brothers.
that'd be hilarious. So I'm staying at Robbie's mom's house. I don't even think Robbie knows yet, but I'm staying at his mom's house with him, and her and my dad are dating.
Why don't you go, like, I heard you could go to urgent care and request a rushed test and get results in 15 minutes.
Wow, I didn't know that. I
I'm
was
sure
here
you would have to have symptoms.
48 hours.
No, my boxing coach had to go to Mexico for boxing stuff, came back and got tested, got results in 15 minutes. I'm like, how the hell did you do that? He's like, if you tell them you've been traveling, anything, you go into urgent care and you demand rushed results. Just probably a little extra fee or whatever. He's like, they give you results in 15 minutes.
Sounds
So
awesome.
I'm just saying, think about it.
I don't know how urgent it is. I don't want to take away from other people in urgent care, but not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, I just think because I'm guessing you'll be back in the studio, right? And like, I'm just going to be honest, I'm a little scared for my safety.
I'll be back. If I don't have results Sunday, I won't come back. I'll wait for you guys to make sure.
Okay, great.
You never know with all that bike riding.
Pete's a bigger risk than me.
That's a fact. That is 100% a fact.
Yeah, why am I the bigger risk?
Because you black out. You don't even know where you are.
No, I haven't blacked out in months now.
You're like jumping off of boats and shit. I saw Taylor once in a river.
No, he was in a river, stated on this show multiple times in a week that he just goes on this river every day and gets offered cocaine. So like,
I know, but it seems more distant. It seems more distant out in a river on a tube.
The gentleman showed him the coke in his backpack, which meant he was close enough to see into it. So,
well, you
really good vision.
You could spot cocaine from at least 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Not on your freaking boat. And I know you're like, hey, you want to do a photo shoot? Clerk and creative.
Dude,
are you taking shots right now? Let me get half of your Costa. Let me take a sip of your Costa.
You want to be on the Clerk and creative portfolio?
Guys, what is this? How did this get fucking turned on me?
Come on. Okay, let's just remove the top a little. Just Clerk and creative.
Just slip it off a little bit.
Let me see some shoulder.
Slip that one off. Oh my God, how are we naked?
Yep, that's how you do it.
Okay. Well, you seem like quite the expertise at this, so maybe I should take more tips from you.
I don't know nothing about it.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that. Do you guys have anything else to add to this before we wrap up?
No, you guys are doing a great job. Congratulations on being on all podcast platforms. Big news. You really made it to the big leagues, and keep on trucking. Keep those numbers up. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, as always, Costa Brava cocktails. Group chat 10% off. Go buy some Young and Reckless. They have a great NBA collab going on. Taylor, go buy all his Steve products, even the ones that were at the Chainsmokers concert. Actually, are they available or no?
I think they're sold out. I got to check. Those are sick.
They're contaminated.
They say tequila tonight, bagels tomorrow. They're stitched in there, embroidered. They're really, really cool hoodies.
I mean, if you could get your hands on one, I would, be open to sporting one, even though it wouldn't be a crowd favorite.
You can get it on contact.
Yes. Okay, that's going to do it for us. I'll talk to you guys later. That's it. Behind Closed Doors is over. We'll see you again next week.
See ya.
Hey.
All right, good work, guys.
Good shit, guys.
Shit.